Hello, this is Joe Strechay, and today I'm talking about tips on air travel as a person who's blind or with low vision. In some of my past roles, I traveled up to, I think in certain months, like 18 days in a month, typically around 14 days, and I traveled on my own throughout the United States. Spent a lot of time in airports and various sized airports from small to large. So I was, and I still travel a decent amount, and I wanted to share some tips and advice around air travel for those beginners. So, as a person who's blind, when I go in, I'll assume that if you're a beginner, you don't know the airport well. So I go in, I get dropped off at the curb grab my bags. I ask the driver, like, is the door off? I ask them like kind of where it is, and I point my hand and I go, is this correct, this travel way? And then I'll walk out towards that way, tapping, and I might ask someone along the way, is the door up on my left here? And then I go into the airport and I'm looking for the airline, and hopefully it's close by. And typically you're dropped off near the airline that you'll be departing from. And so if I go in there, I might ask for assistance, like, oh, is the line for whatever American this way? So, and find it. Someone might offer assistance, and I would take it. So if I have a suitcase, sometimes I will walk, and I'll just say, you walk and talk, and I'll follow. And or I might take Human Guide and grab their elbow, and that in case if I have a suitcase, I might have my cane in that hand with the elbow, or I might put it with my suitcase that has wheels so that I can pull it along. And I get to the line, I'm going, thank you, whatever, thank you for the assistance. I get in the line, we follow the line through. I get to the front, and as I go up, they might tell you to use the kiosks. I say, I can't use the kiosks. I know they will be accessible in the future, a few of them, and you have to figure out which ones are that will have speech in the future. But so I get to the front. I say I'm traveling alone. I travel often. I'm on this flight, and I show my ID. I have my ID ready and everything. I break it out. They go through, and I ask. They print out your tickets, and I ask them, what gate I'll be departing from. So I get that in my head. I want to know that. I can also, what my first seat is as well. So gate and seat. And I try to keep that in my head. I can always scan my tickets with my phone later, but sometimes it's easier. There's a lot of information on those tickets. And some of that information you get through the email notifications. If you set up your account, like mileage, like through their mileage program, you can set up so that you get email alerts about gates prior and to changes and such, and that helps a lot. So that's the first thing I do when I land. Well, okay, so I tell them I'm going to need assistance to the gate. I don't need a wheelchair, just someone to guide me. And so I go through that, and the person comes. Sometimes they'll show up with a wheelchair, and I'll be like, yeah, I don't need a wheelchair. If you want to put your bag or you put something in it, you're more than welcome, but I think you can ditch that for now. And because I don't, there are individuals who will need that wheelchair, and I'm not one of them. So we will, the person will guide me. I can either do Human Guide, or a lot of times it's busy, so I'll take Human Guide versus this person not really trained in guiding, explaining how to get someplace. So I'll take Human Guide, and we'll walk through. I'm still using my cane to protect myself. And we get into line. You have your ID ready with your tickets, and you show it to security. Sometimes the person will want to take your ID and tickets and give it to them, but I'd rather be the person that provides that to the security people. And then you weave through security, you get to it, you have to, do your whole belt, shoes, all that fun stuff, any liquids, large electronics, emptied into the carts. As you go through the scanner, typically they are turn your body to the right, so I would, right now I'm facing the camera, I would turn my body to the right side, and I make like a triangle with my hands above my head, and almost like I'm making like a Christmas tree or a pyramid or a pine tree, and or something like that, or a fir tree. I don't know, a little wider feet, and then and they'll tell you to adjust, but that's when you step up into the scanner. You're going into a body scanner when it slopes up and it's a smaller space as you go in, and then you slope down to get out, but you stand there for a minute or so and they scan you. But there's also the metal detectors where they might stick their hand out to you you touch their hand, and you kind of go through, and I'm a wider person, so I kind of go a little bit angled, because if you touch the sides, you have to do it all over again. And then afterwards, I ask for assistance to the other side, or the person who's been assisting me comes through, and I go and gather my things, put my shoes back on, belt, all that, and we go down to the gate. Along the way, I ask them, as we get close to the gate, to let me know where the restroom is, like is it on the left or is it on the right. Other things like food or restaurants, stores, I might buy a bottle of water along the way, and I typically tip them a few dollars when I get to my location, and I want a seat that's I can either get out and walk around, like it's towards the outside of the maze of chairs, or towards the to the entrance to the actual jet bridge, or to the gate to the plane. So I usually wander around, truthfully, but I can also use Be My Eyes or Aira to help assist at wandering around on my own within the airport too. So board the plane, I ask for assistance possibly, or I just follow the flow of traffic. But some of the jetways get a little weird now. Like some of them are longer. It depends on what airport and what's going on. So I typically will ask for assistance. I'll walk with someone, probably not human guide, but just walk and talk and tap along. And then I board the plane. I know my ABC, on the right, D, E, F on the left, or AC, or A. Well, depending on if it's a small plane, it could be A, and then B, C on the left. So I know that kind of thing already. Sometimes I can count the rows. Sometimes they skip numbers. But I ask where that is, and when I go to sit down, I ask where the restrooms are on the plane, what number, and such emergency exits. And then getting off the plane, I follow the flow of traffic off the plane, and usually there's someone there to assist me once I'm out on the jetway, or I get to the gate and I ask for assistance. Or if it's a close gate, I might walk on, just use my Aira or something else, or just some airports I know real well. I know what gate I'm at, I can figure it out. I spend a lot of time in some airports, but getting assistance to your next gate if you had a connection. Say you don't have a connection, you're going to baggage claim, and I'll ask for assistance, and then I have my bags labeled in a specific way. It's easier to pick them out. So the assistance, I will use them visually to help find the bag, and then also to get me towards ground transportation, usually Uber or Lyft, so that I can do that. I think telling people what helps you and what you don't want as well can benefit you, and being positive goes a long way in general in interactions. There are times that you won't want to be positive. As I said, I've been on a number of planes. I think I was on a trip, and it hasn't happened in a long time. Someone started talking really loud to me, and one of the flight attendants, and is someone traveling with them? And I'm like, No, no one is traveling with me. And I like to get quieter sometimes. No, no one is traveling with me. I'm traveling on my own. And they'll be like, why are you always, because you were yelling. But I might also, if they tell me that I have to wait till everyone gets off the plane, I'll say, you do you, I'll do me, and we'll figure it out from there. And but you know, you got to take care of yourself and be prepared. And I think being calm and chill goes a long way. And just being smart, you make sure you remember your ID, your ticket, your bags. Don't leave them anywhere. And you should be good. If you have any other questions, please reach out. I'm Joe Strechay. I'm a blindness consultant. Have a great day. Take care. Oh, when I land, the first thing I do if I'm having a connection is I open my turn on off airplane mode on my phone. I don't turn off my phone. I just turn on airplane mode, turn it off, and then I check my email to see if there are any updates on gates for connections or delays or anything like that. So that's the first thing I do once we touch the ground on the plane. So have a great day. Take care.